Happy Sunday evening to you. This is about Civil War questions for the Roman Empire we're going over. You're going to have some single sentence questions, about 11 of them for reading comprehension, and then of course there's going to be 3 paragraph responses you have to work on. Now, I do have my canine helpers with me this evening. Cortez? Cordy, come here. Say hi to everybody. I know. That dog has got a giant nose. And then, of course, I've got my little friends over here hanging out, too. Yeah, and you can see Lita looking at me, what's going on. Chuck going down over there, too. Okay, enough of the fun stuff, talking about the dogs. You have 3 paragraph responses. I'm going to basically run over them with you and make sure you kind of understand what's going on. Number 1 says, what 2 major effects did the Punic Wars have on the political situation in Rome? So, 2 things that caused political things to change in Rome. So after the completion of the war with Carthage and Hannibal, what 2 things happened in the political situation in Rome? Now, political involves, the Senate, the consuls, the maybe even class struggle. Okay, it says, what was the long-term result? So 2 parts of this question. Name 2 things happened in the political situation. And then the second part of this is, what was the long-term result of that? So it's something that took place and lasted for a long time. That's question number 1. Question number 2 says, what kind of social reforms did Tiberius and Gaius Gracchus try to make and why? Okay, so the brothers Gracchus, remember, one tried to make reforms, then 10 years later his brother tried to do the same thing and he was killed. They were both killed for it by the Senate, okay? And then it said, why did their attempts fail? And not just, hey, their attempts failed because they were killed. Yeah, I know that. They were killed, so of course they failed. But first part of the question, what kind of things did they try to do? Okay, we talked about, my words, trying to play a little bit of Robin Hood. If that jogs a memory in you in your notes, it might help a little bit. And of course, why did their attempts fail? So again, second question has 2 parts to it. Third question, it says, describe the political situation in Rome 1st century BC. Why did several rival generals rise to power in Rome? Okay, so what's happening in Rome during the 1st century BC? And then, why did generals rise to power? Think about carefully who supports the generals. I'll give you a word. Hint, it has to do with veterans, okay? It's a big deal. In the United States, man, you can throw a rock down the street and you're going to hit 3 or 4 or 5 veterans, okay? Those are people who served in the military, either for a few years or many years, but they, put their lives in line, helped everybody out. Rome was no different. They had a lot of people that served in their military as well. So that means a large chunk of their population was, or at that point is, former veterans of the legions, okay? Now, I'm kind of mixing my tenses up when I'm talking about that, but when you'll read it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, 1 through 11 single sentence questions. Who were Tiberius and Gaius Gracchus? What was the purpose of the brothers Gracchus reforms? What influential reform is attributed to Gaius Marius? Who was Sulla, Pompey, Spartacus, the first triumvirate? In which battles Pompey defeated? Those sort of things. Those are really basic factoid questions that go along with your reading. But the main 3 paragraphs you have to work on, of course, the ones I just went over. Okay, I hope this gives you a little bit of help if you actually take the time to go back and look at it. Clearly, my dogs were here helping me record this video as well, as my large-nosed dog walks around the room and sniffs the entire floor. Crazy times. Okay, hope you guys are doing well. Weekend was beautiful weather. Hopefully you got outside and got to see a little bit of it. Have a good night.